Time for part 2 of Sonic Triple Trouble. So this is Robotnik Winter. I wonder if it's called Eggman Winter in the Japanese version. Somehow I doubt that because they've never actually changed the names of levels between the English and Japanese version. Because even though they usually change I guess they changed the level names for the international versions, like the French version and whatnot. They always seem to stick with the English names for Japanese Sonic games. But yeah, this level is sort of comparable to Ice Caps though. I mean, it's got a lot of fast parts, and it has a snowboard. It's a lot less automated and pointless than an Ice Cap, where literally all you did was you would just don't jump and you'll collect all the rings. So it was just an automated section that was kind of pointless. Here the snowboard is better than that. But here's why I hate this level. In both Act 1 and Act 2, there would be sections of the level where I would get completely stuck. And I would wander around the entire level trying to figure out how I'm supposed to beat it. Because it's not as straightforward as you think. Act 1 is pretty obvious in retrospect. You have to spin dash jump in order to get past the higher ice blocks and break them. Act 2 is less straightforward though, because you gotta drop down to a lower path and then go to the left. But when I was playing this for my written review, I got stuck on both acts. And when I was playing this for this LP, the same thing happened. If you don't hold up when you're brought over to that, then you won't land on the block, and so you'll have to fall down and let the wind carry you again. The unintuitive thing is that when that floor below you crumbles, you actually have to let it crumble and go where it leads you. And you'd think that you're supposed to spin dash jump off that platform to get through those ice blocks to beat the level, but no. I mean, I've never done it. I guess it's possible. Maybe for a shortcut? I like the music for this level. I like it quite a bit. It's just that, well, I like the beginning part, but after a while it goes from really cool to just... It feels like it's just improvising by the end, and seems to have lost its original feeling and stuff. Hey look, it's another Chaos Emerald. And the annoying thing is that you have to jump into the sparkles it creates in order to go to the special stage. Why? Why can't breaking the item box be good enough? Why can't you just jump into it with 50 rings, which even then I think is too much. Why do you have to jump into sparkles? Because the thing is, there are some emeralds that are placed in locations where if you don't, you have a lot of momentum breaking the item box, and then by the time you break the item box, you're sent past the item box off a platform, and then you can't return to that platform and collect the sparkles. Or by the time you do return to the sparkles, they're already gone because they vanish after a while. So I missed out on an emerald at one point, because I wasn't able to get into the sparkles in time. That's stupid. They should just instantly transport you to the special stage. So Knuckles is working for Eggman again. It's because Eggman told him that Sonic was evil. He told him that Sonic was evil and was going to use the Chaos Emeralds for something evil. Even though he clearly helped him get his Master Emeralds back in Sonic 3 Knuckles. And you'd think if he was the kind of person who would want to abuse magical emeralds, he would have done the same thing with the Master Emerald. Jumping onto this platform is pretty annoying because the enemies respawn. Like, that enemy respawn when you leave the screen. Like it's a Mega Man game or something. I mean, they're both 8-bit, so it kind of makes sense. And this loop is really annoying. It sends you upwards into spikes. And you gotta jump off the side in order to progress. But it's not nearly as easy as in the classic Sonic games in the Genesis. You can't just jump off the wall because then you'll jump towards the spikes. You gotta head to the right and make sure you don't have so much momentum that you get sent towards the spikes. And because I was sent past the checkpoint and wasn't able to collect it because I had too much momentum, and I tried to get it, but I was sent all the way back to the beginning of the stage. That's the worst placed checkpoint ever. So I had to go through the entire level all over again. The ring goalpost is completely useless here. I mean, what's the point? It's not like it sends you into a special stage. I mean, it's only useful if you had, like, 90 rings, and so it gave you just enough so you had an extra life. This game was developed by Aspect Code, just like previous 8-bit Sonic games. Why does the screen lock? Thankfully, I didn't get past the only rings in the level. I intentionally died there so that I could get those rings, but it turns out I lost that life for nothing because there were rings ahead of me. But screen lock is so stupid. Like, this is something that was abandoned by Mario 1, and for good reason. It's not like it's an auto-scrolling level either. Auto-scrolling levels never really made sense to me. Like, what are they in universe? It would make sense if there was like a moving wall behind Sonic. And it wasn't just behind him, but it was also at both sides of him. So that he couldn't walk around it. But if it was at both sides of him, then it would be in the background, you'd be able to see it. So, I don't know. The time limit doesn't really make sense either. I guess it's the time counting down, and when the timer reaches 0, Eggman gasses the entire level and Sonic dies. I guess that's it. This boss is really annoying because you have to jump into it in a very precise way. If you jump into the fire, you get hurt. And he's constantly sending these things at you. And the jump physics are kind of weird because you jump into these things and they send you straight down for some reason. I mean, you'd expect to just keep on going. Because usually in Sonic games, you jump into an enemy and then you just keep on going. And so now, Knuckles sends you to the next level with an avalanche that falls at you from above, and yet it still sends you to the next stage. I mean, I guess Sonic was pushed by it. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. Like, why do they even bother at all? It actually would have made more sense if they hadn't gone with those level transitions. Because then you could just assume that Sonic just moved to the right from the previous level, and that's how he got to the next level. Ugh. I hate this level. I really hate this level. On the surface, it seems to be a much better version of Aqua Lake Zone Act 2, because it's got these bubbles, but they don't pop from every little thing. Like, you hit a wall or ceiling and they don't pop. And they break through blocks in the ceiling. But it's kind of hard to tell which blocks you can break and which you can't, and that can get you stuck. I spin dashed into that wall before and it didn't break, but then I stood in front of it and started spin dashing and then it broke? How does that make sense? This is definitely better than Aqua Lake Zone. But there's so many spike balls falling at you. It's so easy to get your bubble popped and then you have to fall down. I do love the fact that the bubbles appear from you standing on a thing that produces them right away. So you don't have to stand there and wait for a bubble to be produced, and then risk drowning in the process. This power-up is pretty neat, I guess, even though your momentum is really slippery because you keep on keeping your momentum. And you lose it forever when you get hit. Tails is a better substitute. I'll show that off in an extra video. I think this level also drags on for too long. That's another thing. The screen crunch isn't nearly as bad as in the other 8-bit Sonic games, because the level design is designed around the smaller screen because there's no Master System version of this game. Officially anyways. There's a fan version of a Master System version of this game. I tried it out and the slowdown was so bad that the music was literally playing slower. And I have a high-end computer. It can run the Unleashed project just fine. It has no problem with playing the classic Sonic games on an emulator. The Metal Sonic ROM hacks. I mean, they feel slower, but not that slow. So I don't know what it is about the Master System port of this game that just makes it so slow and awful. I mean, why? Why is there so much slowdown? I mean, it's not like the emulator I'm playing sucks, because I'm using the latest version of Kega Fusion, and that's the best emulator there is for Genesis games. And it even lets you play like 32X games, and Sega CD games, and Master System games as well, and Game Gear games. So I've got the best emulator, and a very great computer, and obviously there's some sort of optimization problem, because it's still extremely slow for me. And I saw in the HFC Sonic-a-thon, and it looked great! So that was a disappointment. So I'd recommend the Game Gear version, unfortunately. I mean, the screen crunch isn't a problem anyways. How are you supposed to know that you have to go into that tube and break through those walls? I mean, you won't be stuck forever, but it will take you a while. I remember when I was writing my review of this, and I was doing a Tails playthrough on Sonic Gems Collection, I got all the way to Tidal Planet Act 2, and I got hopelessly lost and stuck because I didn't know how to beat it. It was easier, but I still couldn't figure out how to beat it. And I don't really see what the problem is with the Gems Collection version of this game. I mean, it seems exactly the same to me. I mean, the only source I could find for that complaint was like one review, and one review isn't really credible to me.